This story came out on Easter, but I wanted to make sure that we got it in. So CNBC says, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Pope Francis says it might be time for some sort of universal basic income. Quote, this may be the time to consider universal basic wage, to acknowledge and dignify the noble, essential tasks, and to achieve the ideal of no worker without rights, Pope Francis said in a letter to the World Meeting of Popular Movements, an organization representing global grassroots organizations, published on Sunday via the Vatican. The Pope acknowledged that for many workers, the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns are making it difficult, if not impossible, to earn money. So I think that's great that he's calling for this. And see, now we're at the stage of the crisis where among people, because usually in, top echelons of government, they don't sense the urgency as much as the people feel it. But among people, the so-called radical solutions are actually the common sense solutions. So nobody has a job and nobody has the money that they need, and there's nothing they could do to fix that because of a pandemic. Just give them money. Okay, what's the easiest way to give money? Just give them a universal basic income. Every month, send them some money. That's it. That's really, and I have to admit, you guys have heard me mention this before, but this has, universal basic income leapfrogged so many issues during this pandemic in my own mind. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that is like literally the most straightforward thing you could do to help people during this crisis. Literally. It's just like a recurring allowance, a universal basic income. I call it Social Security for all. Give everybody a Social Security check. And, because it's necessary. This is what people need to get by. There's no way around it. So apparently the Pope had a similar enlightenment moment like I did, that this should be one of the top issues. This absolutely should be one of our top issues. Because that alone can mitigate so many social ills and help a hell of a lot of people. So I'm happy that he's now jumping in on this. Yes, you absolutely can say that Andrew Yang was one of the people who kind of sparked this and made it come into the public consciousness. And then it's slowly but surely been growing as a more and more important issue. And now it really is in the spotlight. And I really wish that definitely in the last bailout, I think we could have gotten it, guys. We could have gotten it in the last Corona package. If Bernie held up the bill and said, I'm not going to allow this to go on unless you give people $1,000 a month in perpetuity. Not even the duration of the crisis. Give everybody $1,000 a month, full stop. As far as the eye could see. Then, I think we could have gotten it. I think they would have given in on that. I think they would have been like, what are we going to do? Because the corporations really wanted that bailout to pass, so could have used our leverage, but we didn't use it. But the upside, though, is that now you're seeing a hell of a lot more of this. People like Pope Francis, normies, people who never would have considered this before. They would have thought it was an insane idea, are now like, it's obvious. Like, what do you mean? People need money. They can't get money. There's no way around it. Just give them the money. Yeah, I agree.